In this video session, we'll be seeing mainly what a schedule is or how to write a schedule. So before going into the details, let's first try to understand what we mean by a schedule. So in the previous videos, we saw that when multiple transactions occur in an interleaved manner, what all issues can occur. So we saw that multiple transactions occur in interleaved manner. So still when they occur in an interleaved manner, there will be an order of the transaction. Such an order of the transaction is known as a schedule or history of the transaction. We'll be shortly seeing an example making the term clear. So let's first analyze what all symbols are used to represent the operations in an schedule. So as the transaction begins, it is represented as B, a read operation as R, write as W, end of the transaction as E, C for commit, and A for abort. So these are the usual symbols used in a transaction. So taking this as an example, there are two transactions T1 and T2 occurring in an interleaved fashion. So let's see how we can write the schedule for this. So the first thing that occurs in T1 is read item X. So the schedule, as you can see, SA is the name given to the schedule. It's the schedule for this particular figure A, that is why SA. So B is for as the transaction begins. R1 of X is the first R1 means the first transaction is performing read operation on X. Then x equal to x minus n is like an equation over here, and one thing to note is these equations won't be denoted in the schedule. Only the read, write, commit, abort, begin, end operations are denoted in a schedule. So read item x by the first transaction is represented as R1 of X. Now when the second transaction after that, as you can see in this figure, after read item x, this x equal to x minus n occurs. After that, the next operation occurring over here is read item x. That is how you need to interpret. After this x equal to x minus n, the next operation that occurs is this. And as you can see, the axis is shown as time. So as time progresses, this is the first operation that occurs. Then T2 takes in T2 this operation occurs, and we saw when online transactions occur in an uncontrolled manner, there's no control over like which operation can occur. If T1 and T2 are occurring in an interleaved fashion, after this T2 this can occur. So this read item X over here is denoted, this belongs to T2 and is denoted as R2 of X. So this read item X is denoted as R2 of X because the read belongs to the second transaction. Now this write item X, is denoted as, this belongs to the first transaction, it is denoted as W1 of X. Then this occurs read item Y, so it is denoted as R1 of Y. Then this write item X occurs as per order, so that this is W2 of X. Then this occurs write item Y, that is W1 of Y, and E for end. So that is how we write a schedule. So and the things you need to understand is R for read, W for write, and 1 and 2 is the corresponding transaction number. R1 means it is the first transaction that is writing X. R2 means it's the second transaction that is writing upon X. So taking another example, in this example we have assumed that after the schedule, this particular transaction T1, after this much, the transaction T1 is getting aborted after read item Y, and abort is represented as an A in the schedule. So let's just analyze the schedule. So B for begin, R1 of X is corresponding to this read item X, W1 of X is corresponding to this write item X. Then this read item X occurs for T2, so it is R2 of X. Write item X is for W2 of X for T2. Read item Y is R1 of Y. And as said, this transaction T1 aborts, so we represent it as A1. And we can show an end by E. So that is how we represent a schedule. So next we need to see in a given schedule which two operations are set to conflict each other. We'll see why we need to understand conflicting operations and all shortly. So first let's see if a given schedule, if a schedule is given, how to identify whether two operations conflict each other. So for two operations to be conflicting, three properties have to be satisfied, all the three. It's not like 1, 2 or 3, it's like 1, 2 and 3. All the three have to be satisfied for two operations to be conflicting. Let's understand what the conditions are. First one is they should belong to different transaction. The second one is they should access the same data item, and third one is at least one of them should be a write operation. So in the schedule, let's see which all are the conflicting operations and which are the non-conflicting operations. Remember, we are trying to identify the conflicting operations. So this R1 of x individually is an operation actually. So taking the case of R1 of x and say W2 of x, we need to check whether these two operations are conflicting, R1 of x and W2 of x. So R1 of x and W2 of x are conflicting because these three conditions are met. What were the conditions? They belong to different transaction. Yes, it belongs to first transaction, and this operation belongs to second transaction. They access the same data item. Yes, they both access x. And the third condition is at least one of them should be a write item. So this is a write. So that's why these are conflicting. Similarly, this R2 of x and W1 of x, they also meet these three conditions, as you can see. So they conflict. Then W1 of x and W2 of x. This W1 of x and W2 of x is another conflicting operation because they also satisfy these three properties. Now let's see which are the non-conflicting operations. As you can see, R1 of x and R2 of x, that is these two are non-conflicting, or there's no conflict. As let's take the conditions one by one. The first condition is met, that they belong to different transaction. This belongs to R1, this belongs the first transaction, this belongs to the second transaction. Second condition is also met, they access the same data item. But the third condition, that is at least one of the operations should be a write item x, is not satisfied in this R1 of x and R2 of x. That's why they are non-conflicting. Similarly, you can see this, the rest of the things. This is non-conflicting because x and y are not the same data item. This is not conflicting because they belong to the same transaction. So hope that is clear how to identify a conflicting and non-conflicting operation. And there are two types of conflict actually. The first one is read-write conflict and the second one is write-write conflict. In read-write conflict, it is like, say if this is the order of two operations, first R1 of x occurs, then W2 of x occurs, and if the order is changed, that is we change W2x to occur first and followed by R1 of x, that is said to be a read-write conflict. So this is a conflict actually because if this was the original order, that is W2 of x, that is x had to be written after it was read by the first transaction. If it is so, and if we are changing the order, certain issues can occur. Now what are the issues? See, x, the old value of x, that is say x was 5 initially, and that 5 had to be read by the first transaction, and another transaction T2 is actually updating x by writing a new value. So if this occurs first, that is W2 of x occurs first, it is actually writing the new value to x, and that updated value is being read by the first transaction. Actually the first transaction needs to read the old value. So if this order is changed, it is a conflict, and such a conflict is termed as a read-write conflict. Similarly, write-write conflict means if the write order is changed. First it is W1 of x, then it is W2 of x. If W2 of x occurs first and then W1 of x occurs, this order is changed and it can have consequences, and such a conflict is write-write conflict. So hope you are clear with how to identify whether two operations are conflicting, and whether it is a read-write conflict or it is a write-write conflict. So this is a conflict that can occur. In this case it is read-write conflict. This case it can be a write-write conflict. So going back to the conflicting operations, this first one was a read-write conflict, second one is also a read-write conflict, third one is a write-write conflict. So those are the conflicts that can occur. So hope what a schedule is clear to you. How a conflict can occur between two operations is clear to you, and the two types of conflict, that is read-write and write-write conflict, is clear to you. So that's all for this particular session. Thank you.